December 4th, 2019. A day and a wick that will live in infamy until the next big wick comes in that generally confuses traders and leaves them scrambling for what to do because some traders were not positioned beforehand. Today's Jericho candle chews through the order book, chewing up stop losses on late-term short sellers, especially those over-leveraged, especially those not position sizing correctly, leaving many traders currently looking at the aftermath of this latest Jericho candle from Bitcoin, wondering what direction to scramble into. And often, as we've learned, if you aren't positioned ahead of time, the best thing to do is wait for the next opportunity. Meanwhile, Dash seems to have run off with investors' funds, adding to the increasing list of altcoin projects you should probably have never told your family about. Also, we talk about why did Satoshi choose 21 million coins, and the Lightning Network gets a big boost to adoption. So boo to the haters out there. All this and more on today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin.
I'm Cap.
I'm Signoff.
And we're with Particle.io, and this is Breaking Bitcoin.
You know, I really love that Particle opening. I promise, though, that we're going to get the other scenes. We've got Naomi Brockwell, Samson Mao, everybody that we interviewed. There's going to be a lot of cool little intros, but we're still working on getting all that footage done. So be patient with us. Thanks, guys. Anyways, welcome to another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin with your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and co-founder of CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from and whatever side of that candle you happen to be on. Of course, today is December 4th, 2019, a wick that will live in infamy until the next large movement from Bitcoin. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. If you want to support what we're doing, we are here live every single day, being the bastion of calm, patient, consistently profitable trading that we can be in a morass sea of cryptocurrency information out there that is bereft, full of false information and signals. Please support the show by subscribing to the channel on YouTube, giving us a follow over there on DLive, and sharing the link to your friends, your family, and potentially even people you don't like. It's okay if they hold BSV. Moving right along, we've got a fantastic show for you guys today. We're going to obviously be talking about today's price action. Very exciting day in the market for many individuals. Suicide rates and depression rates and divorce rates are obviously skyrocketing for the individuals on the wrong side of the market. Again, typically for those undisciplined traders, over-leveraged, and not position sizing appropriately. We're going to be going over revisiting the macro analysis. We're going to be doing the premium P&L update. So I have tabulated all of the traders, the senior analysts' results, including my own trading results for the month of November. We're going to be talking about that, as well as the metrics that we value, such as BTC ROI, USD ROI, cumulative USD gains, combining both BTC and USD-based trades, and also our BTC Alpha. Safe to say, again, we had a very good month. Just a brief overview. Our analysts pulling in over an average of 10% actual realized USD ROI per month. Some of our analysts pulling in about 30%, some of them closer to 50. So it's actually a really good month for, again, a great month of November, and for the members who are following along with the trades and building their own strategies. We've got so much to cover. Before we get into the daily scuttlebutt, I, of course, want to thank this month's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, our good friends Spectre Security Coin. Great security project. Make sure to go check them out. They are especially handy and helpful for any token projects, any coin projects, developing, existing, with building out their security. They also do a wide slew of other things. So make sure to go check them out at spectresecurity.io. And as we do every single day, let's give away some free cryptocurrency and get into that live scene, guys. Let's go. All right, here at the YouTube random comment picker, loading the comments for yesterday's show. And what was the title of yesterday's show, guys? The Bitcoin bulls fight back, gap fill, or continued doom. Is EOS in trouble, or is Novogratz wrong? Where we did cover Galaxy Digital selling all of their EOS holdings. And we talked about, is this an epic buy signal for EOS, or just confirmation of the further decline of this continued bear market? Honestly, my fundamentals point to continued bearishness of this depressed bear market. But let's randomly pick a winner, and it is Monk DaMan. Let's see here. he says, love the channel and have just requested information on your website about the courses that you offer currently. BTC is sitting around $7,300 still. What way is this CME gap going to be filled? I see conflicting reports from a lot of traders. Some say up, some say down. LOL. The recent gaps have been filled by pumps, I believe. But is this one different? Let's see. 8,500. Well, a very germane question based off today's price action, and one that hopefully has already been answered by the pump, as you so succinctly pointed out. But let's get into today's live analysis and break that down. Mr. Monk, please get a hold of me in the Discord. I'm very easy to find in the Discord server, discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. I am the one on the top right, named Justin Wise, accurately enough. Get a hold of me and I will set you up with some crypto, my good friend. Thank you so much for the comment. And into the live scene. All right, so pulling up are, he says, that's me. Hey, thanks so much for the live view, my friend. All right, let's do the roll call, obviously, guys. Let's see who is in here today. We've got a lot of activity in the chat. Glad to see all you guys. Jürgen Ernst, good morning to you, my friend. It's hard. We've got, they were in here chatting for a little bit. Let's see here. Ron Legato, Kryptonian over there on DLive. He says, we better get some good news now. Anything less than 100K won't do. Mr. Ether grabbed 10% from that move this morning. Awesome, man. Good to hear. MT Coiner, good to hear you. Good to see you. Agency, Mr. Hut QC, good morning to you, my friend. Jose Canetta, Neil Love, Aaron Webb, Wendy. We got Forza World TV over there on DLive. DLive in full effect. Wish I could say the same thing about my portfolio after that candle. I was online, looked away for a few minutes, and I was like, WTF, mate, says Ricky Thompson. Good to see you guys. Oh, that's news. Dash gone. Let's see here. Roy Coin. I did take some time, hopefully, to set the video up that it does kind of sync with the video. Thank you. Howdy-o. Jack, good to see you, my man. Paul, Bob the Builder. The man, the myth, the legend. I do not see Wally, the man, the myth, the legend. Sure he'll be coming in here. Caprica, Jojo, Aditya, Tim Matthews. Good to see you, good to see you guys. Okay. So let's get into the scuttlebutt. Obviously, you guys know what's going on. Very large candle. Give you guys an update on my trades. Again, not spot long because all of my trades are still under the umbrella of my macro hedge, based off the monthly analysis, based off the Bitcoin hash rate capitulation and difficulty. The funds that I did have in my trading account for ByBit were spot long. I had a short trade in last night that did plunge down to my first take profit. Then I was going to bed. I had already hit TP1. I ended up closing my trade out last night and just left my trading account flat. Now, of course, didn't make a large USD gain, of course, because my funds are still under the umbrella of the hedge, but my hedge is actually at a higher price than price is currently trading at. Of course, during the wick, during the pump to the upside, that hedge would have been in somewhat of drawdown. Of course, the initial hedge that we put on from $9,000 down to the $6,000 region was pulled off and has since been reestablished because of the close of the monthly candle. And again, that's all been gone over for the premium members in the group, as well as that will be covered in today's P&L report, which will be available to you guys. We'll be publishing those results today in the Discord. We'll go over them first over here just because I have them collected and ready to go over. We'll go over those here live on the stream, and then we'll also be publishing those up publicly. Of course, you guys can see all of our historical results, all of this information at all times at results.krakencryptocurrency.com. We are the only trading group on the internet who publishes their actual real results. We are the only trading group on the internet that has developed the advanced position size calculator and trading journal that does not look at what most signal groups or what other traders want to show you, which is just price moved from here to here. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you made dollars. In fact, you can actively lose money. So a lot of people, you run into this problem a lot with altcoin trades. Again, if you take an alt BTC trade and the value of BTC goes up, or excuse me, if that trade goes well, but at the same time, BTC USD moves down, you can actively lose money on a winning trade. So all of these concepts, hedging, dollar base, cost basis, risk management, position sizing, these are where we start in the group, because this is what other traders do not want you to focus on, because most other traders and most other individuals out there do not want you to make money. And that is all we want individuals to do here at Kraken Cryptocurrency. That's why we start our education with the right thing, and that's what we focus on. So with that in mind, what's the right thing to do right now? In my personal opinion? Well, the right thing to do is absolutely nothing. Midwest Attempts, one of our junior analysts, had a fantastic set of trades. He took the 1 hour signal, actually capturing almost the majority of this movement to the upside, was prepared with his limit sell orders in the vicinity of the gap that we did talk about during yesterday's show. The gap has been filled on the CME. I think a lot of individuals were prepared and ready at that area as well, looking to short sell into that gap, which was the correct move. And we went over that yesterday. We went over that the day before that. We went over that the day before that as well. Actually, just the last 2 days, because obviously today is Wednesday and we weren't here on Sunday. So that's what we've been covering. Obviously, Monday, we talked about the sell signal down to 4K. Still a reality that has not been invalidated in any way, shape, or form. Does this turn the market macro bullish? Absolutely not. In fact, unless and until we get some changing information, some significantly changing information, this does look like a significant sign of weakness. But let's go over a few possibilities. And to do that, let's get over the current analysis of the day, or the current chart setup. Let's actually go over here to our traditional setup with all of our PTP indicators set up on the daily as we do. And we're going to go to the Coinbase chart. The Coinbase chart. Okay. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, and one thing that is interesting, is that we haven't gotten a regular PTP long signal throughout all of this. Now, 2 possible setups that I talked about yesterday were not only the gap fill and being prepared for that, but also the reversal baseline bounce. And again, I believe I've been fairly consistent yesterday and the day before in expecting to see 1 or 2 days of upside of green candles. Again, the massive movement to the upside is not supremely surprising. These things are surprising, however, when they do actually occur, because you're never expecting Bitcoin to just rise, $600 on a whim, because most of the time it doesn't actually do that. Most of the time it moves on average volatility, but then you do get these crazy wick movements out of nowhere that you cannot catch generally in any time frame. Again, the large pump today was mostly from the perspective of the 10-minute time frame. Again, Midwest Attempts was able to catch that on a 1 hour signal to the upside, but of course, I, utilizing the 2 hour time frame on that, wouldn't have caught that long signal. And again, the 15-minute chart was very choppy. Again, it just happened very quickly. So congratulations to all the traders who were positioned for that. Bigger shout out, I think, to the more strategic statistical setup, which was having those limit sell orders at the gap fill area. I think that was a great play for those who pulled that off, and congratulations to you guys. I think that was a great trade. I think you guys are going to continue to be vindicated. You guys are already sitting in a great position of profit as it is right now. And I do just want to cover a few things here. So we do have the candle structure of the day is a doji. That is an indecision candle. That means we still, even with the pump to the upside and even with the sell-off, from the daily perspective, is not really indicative of future price direction or movement. Now, what is interesting is that if we do rally upwards from this, I would be more inclined to be looking for a long signal, not removing my hedge because the direction is to the downside. I'm not missing that movement down to 4K, but I can see a movement up to grab more liquidity. There was 50 million short liquidations on today's candle, and what have we seen time and time and time again with these large movements to the upside for Bitcoin over the last 4 months? Really, they're all shorting opportunities. The trades are not to the upside. The trades have not been to the upside. In fact, trading to the upside has generally actively been counter trend trading for the last 4 months. The majority of our profits from Bitcoin have been from short selling because the pressure to the downside has been more consistent. If you were holding a position open generally at any point in time over the last several months, if the trade was to the downside, you would have eventually been vindicated. If you were holding it up to the upside, if you were taking the trade to the upside, then generally you were picking up pennies in front of a moving steamroller, continually pushing price down, but doji structure, not a clear signal anywhere from PTP. We do have a few interesting things. Of course, we did get the one confirmation cross up from Minx back over here on the 24th of November 2019. We actually closed above the daily baseline, which is where individuals would have been removing their short hedges that they would have been putting on over here at this point in time, removing them here and then putting them back on here potentially, unless they held them open through that chop. Again, depends on the baseline that individuals are using. But again, that simple decision right there, and I went over this last night, is generally the most that simple strategy right there accounts for a large majority of our members' capital preservation and a lot of their profits, and they ignore that. New members ignore that at their own peril. So make sure that you guys who are new to the group, make sure that you guys review particularly that baseline video and also the Ask Me Anythings that are available not only in the premium start packet but also in the premium plus content as well, in the Pathways to Profit course and in the educational webinar series where I do cover these topics in depth, particularly the Ask Me Anythings, which again have directories where you guys can go and see all the lectures that I've given on these topics. Moving and pushing on from that. Commodity Channel Index, again, also gave us the two Minx giving us the one signal confirmation. The day later, we did get the baseline confirmation. And then the day after that, or maybe it's on the same candle. Let's go take a peek here. Yeah, the day after that, we actually got the commodity channel index confirmation. But what has kept us out of long trades? Remember, on the daily, we're looking for long trades that stretch quite a bit. What is the ATR on the daily? Probably around $700. Let's double check this with our ATR indicator. Let's see here. So average true range on the daily is $427.33. So we're looking for a swing of at least $500, and that's going to be on the daily. That's looking for a consistent trending movement to the upside of at least $400 to $500, and then looking for other areas such as like $800 and $1,200 for us to take additional profit at. And that's what the system, that's how we trade at our base level, our core level. That's the trades that we're designed to catch. We're trend following traders at our nature. We do have other setups and strategies for taking reversals, for scalping lower time frames, for utilizing price action. All these things are fine, but we build all of those things off the foundation of a strong trend following higher time frame macro analysis method of trading, not trading against the dominant trend, trading the direction of the dominant trend. And again, I've been very consistent that the dominant trend still is and has been bearish. So that makes long trades riskier. You need to be utilizing lower risk on them, and it doesn't matter how beautiful those long gains seem to be. The majority of traders are not actively making a lot of money or being very successful with that. Again, long traders for the most side, or long bias traders over the past few months, have been largely losing, whereas short sellers, those who are just trading the direction of the dominant trend, are actively profiting and making money. So please remember that. Please keep that in mind. It's very important for you guys to understand, and that has not changed. We do not have a technical objective indication that that has changed in any way, shape, or form. Now, what is interesting is Wadatar explosion is designed to keep us out of bad trades. And as our volatility filter has not fired off, has not given us a signal. Let's look what the explosion level is doing. The explosion level is falling. What does that mean? The Bollinger Bands are contracting. Interestingly enough, I'm going to be experimenting with utilizing something different than the Bollinger Bands, but so far this has been spot on. This has been spot on almost all year long for when to be in and out of Bitcoin as far as a trade is going. Obviously, our larger hedge, whether we're sitting spot long or whether we're hedged up with a short and taking long trades within the couch of that hedge, is fine. But as we can see right now, Bollinger Bands are contracting, preparing for a very large volatile movement. We do have quite a bit of ways to go down. We can stay in consolidation and chop for an extended period of time, at least several weeks here, looking at the fall and looking at the pattern and the cyclical nature of the Bollinger Band expansion and contraction. But Wadatar explosion is keeping us out of bad trades. I would be hesitant to be taking a long out of this, but again, if we do get a green column above the explosion level, even with it falling, we can still take a trade to the upside. Now, where would we likely be going if we do end up getting a little bit of a further rally out of this? If we do end up going up and increasing on strength and moving past the CME gap area, which was previously sold into, which is what we've seen today. Well, my eyes would be on the $7,900 to $8,100 region. It is very simply a very, let's just zoom out so we can get a perspective on that. It is just very simply a return. So there are many, many ways to look at this. Obviously, this is going to be a level of order block that was previously established as support and resistance. We have breakers here. We have blocks here. If we pull up volume profile and do a volume profile analysis, we can see the import of this level. This is the point of control for all the market activity of 2019. This is the most critical area. We have rejected from this area twice. But if we do zoom out a little bit more and take in 2018's price activity as well, that level does rise a little bit to the $8,100 area, and us having a retreat up there to grab liquidity, especially above, now that we have two equal highs, now that we have roughly two equal highs in this area right here. We can see, again, not perfect, about $100 off, but we do have roughly equal highs in this area, making this a very prime target for a really big stop run. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see that very big stop run if we're going all the way down to 5K, as I have talked about previously, as the monthly is pointing us down to that 4.9 area. So if we do end up getting the another bullish candle, so I'd say if today closes fairly strong, and if we do get some bullish uptake tomorrow, I would be looking for that rise up to that area and then be looking to sell into that area. Again, remember that when we approach resistance, on high momentum and volume, typically we get sold into. When we kind of creep up to it, when we creep up to a level of resistance, when we creep down to a level of support, we tend to just blow right past it and right through it. So also keep that in mind. Not only will the signal matter, but it will also depend on the nature, because of course anything can happen in this market. This can be a local bottom for Bitcoin. We may not be going down to 5K, but so far we haven't seen anything to invalidate that. And again, these macro elements, and if you want to be trading from a very calm perspective, understanding exactly what you're doing with your capital, preserving, making money, you need to understand the market from a macro perspective. So macro, nothing has changed whatsoever. But we also adapt and flow with changing market conditions. So of course, that's why we do the show every day. That's why we do the trading group. That's why we do everything that we do to educate you guys so that you guys are not on the wrong side of the market. Let's see here. Other than that, so that's where I'm looking at. That's what my mind is on. Now, one thing that I will point out intraday, and for this, we will go back to the setup that we've been using for this week, which we'll continue to be utilizing. One thing that I will say is we have had that sell off from around $7,800 all the way down to $7,422. So that's, again, about a $400 sell off, a little bit less, a little bit more from peak to trough, was a $400 sell off, give or take. And that's not a very strong sign. We would want to be closing, and again, we can see we're above the point of control. We're above VWAP on the daily and all these things. So for those intraday traders, you haven't really gotten the signal to short sell this yet. If you're looking to follow intraday trend, again, this is all screaming, do nothing, do absolutely nothing, stay flat, chill out. You're not positioned. You didn't get a good trade. You didn't get a good entry. So just do nothing. That's what all this is screaming at for those who are unaware and uncertain of what to do. The correct thing is to do nothing and wait for your next opportunity with edge. You only trade with an edge. If you ever find yourself at any point in the market looking at candles, doesn't matter if you're on the 1 minute chart, the 15-minute chart, the hourly, the daily, the monthly, doesn't matter. If you haven't done the work of setting up a trading strategy that gives you signals and setups that have an edge, then you're not trading, you're gambling. And we do not gamble on this channel. That's why I'm very hesitant, always hesitant to, and you should be too, to take trades when you don't have a clear advantaged edge. Now, what's interesting is that the point of control did just now jump up. You guys saw that happen live on your screen in the lower right-hand chart, which is, of course, the 15-minute Heikin-Ashi. You guys did just see, are we Heikin-Ashi? We should be Heikin-Ashi. Sorry. That should be Heikin-Ashi. You did just see the point of control jump up from the lower area where we did accumulate before this pump to the upside to where price is currently trading at 74.72. What does that mean? What does that mean when the point of control jumps up to that area? It means that the bulls and the bears are actively fighting. There is a lot of intense activity in the order book right now, and you are waiting for the break. You are waiting for the break, either the break to the downside to take an attempt at a continuation short to the downside, looking to take price all the way down, and essentially trading on a setup where you are saying this movement is nothing but weakness. This is going to get completely sold into, or you're looking to see a continued rally from this. You're looking to see shorts get smoked again and bulls continue to carry this to the upside, which is not unheard of. We have seen again when Bitcoin starts rallying, you kind of want to get the fuck out of its way and just allow it to evolve and unfold. However, I would be pretty cautious about that setup at this point in time. Again, I would very, very much love to wait for the daily. One thing that is being kicked around by a lot of our analysts is some price levels, and VWAP, I think, and point of control is germane to this as well on the daily. Closing below 7,300, in my opinion, would be extremely bearish at this point in time, and would tend to point to a continuation short, a bearish setup. We'd most likely be getting a 2-hour signal at that point in time, or potentially even a daily signal to take price to the downside, because that would show absolutely no strength from this pump. And again, as I pointed out over here on the daily chart, what have we seen time and time again over the last roughly 4 months? Every big long wick to the upside that gets completely sold into was not a sign of strength. It was an absolute abject sign of weakness. And the correct setup was to be short on that. So just ask yourself, of course, defer to your analysis, defer to your trading strategy that we're all building together, and ask yourself, is this an area of the market that in a week's time or 2 weeks' time that I would have liked to been long from, or that I would have liked to be short from? And answer that question as objectively as you can and take trades couched with that macro perspective. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. You're being true to yourself. And part of being trading Part of trading and part of being a consistently profitable trader is doing your own analysis, drawing your own conclusions, developing a trading thesis, and sticking to that thesis. And if you're wrong, then you're just wrong, and you just develop a new trading thesis for the next setup that you get. You don't flip-flop and stay and basically dishonor your previous self, your previous analysis. You develop a trading thesis and you stick to that trading thesis until your trade is invalidated. And the way that you can do this, if that sounds weird or foreign to you, is get a piece of paper and a pen, sit down and write out what direction overall you think the market is going to move over the next 2 to 3 months. Identify key levels in the market at where you would like to be in position from if a trade were to play out in your favor, and then write down exactly what you will do, where you will act, where you will set your limit orders, what conditions will cause you to enter into a market order. And then the important end to that is to write out, based on every setup that you just wrote down, what would have to happen in the market to make you realize that you were wrong. So you basically are writing in a stop loss to your trade. Once you're done with that, put that piece of paper on your desk and stick to it, right or wrong. That is how all good traders are born. All bad traders flip-flop all the time and don't let trades play out the way they need to. Good trades take time. They need to season. You got to salt them up. You got to brine them for a little bit. You stick that in the water, in the fridge for about 18 hours. Let it chill. Bring it out. Throw it in the smoker. Let that baby smoke up. Got to let these things play out, guys. All right. Boom. How is everybody doing, man? How is everybody doing? So let's scroll up here. Excuse me. Neil Love, how's it from South Africa, my friend? Tim Matthews asks, is there such a thing as a crypto that is not a scam? I've been in Bitcoin 5 years and have seen only scams. I've heard about this one coin that's very reputable, has a sterling reputation. It's called USDT, US dollar tether. I'm sure you've heard of it. Not a blemish on the spot record of that coin. Just sterling rep. It's got A+ approval, man. It's like a collateralized debt obligation being sold as an A+ security. Don Candon grabbed negative 200% profit today. Makes me kind of want to pull out the Friday meme. Like, damn! Agency says, I thought you locked up Bitcoin for Hex. No, that's not how it works, sir. If you had Bitcoin in a wallet that you own the private keys to, at the daily candle close or 0000 UTC, December 2nd, which is when December 2nd begins, then there was a snapshot of the Bitcoin blockchain, and you can go and claim free Hex. You can move your Bitcoin around wherever. You're entitled to your Hex if you had Bitcoin in a wallet on that date. So if you're a Bitcoin hodler. As far as Ethereum goes, with the adoption amplifier, as they're calling it, you could send Ethereum to the Hex Ethereum address and receive Hex in return. So basically trading your Ethereum for Hex. And this is exactly how EOS did their thing. And this is how every ICO or IEO or whatever has done their thing in the past. Not necessarily IEO. It's a little different, but generally the same thing. Strength and profit to you as well, Scrooge McDuck. Ethereum will explode. DeFi will start the new bull run, and the Ethereum demand will Seki rocket. Simple math. Absolutely. Not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying, whoa, Nelly. Virtual Bacon 1 and Corpse Night, thanks for watching us over there on DLive, my friend. A Dead Cat Jump. Like Italian dressing. Don't just stick them in that microwave on defrost. Oh, you guys are awesome. Philly says, love to taste one of your seasoned and smoked tasty trades, bro. Unicorn 1 asks, what about that bull cross? Not sure what you mean by that. Bull cross on the weekly chart. The only problem with I've been fairly clear on this. The only crosses that I pay attention to are 13 and 55 exponential moving average crosses. They're tradable. The weekly time frame's good. It heralded in the kind of accelerated sustainability of the bullish market, and it heralded in the bearish activity as well. The only problem with there are certain things out there that are more objective than others. Like volume profile is pretty objective. Things like liquidations, funding, hash ribbons, all of these things are pretty objective. Moving averages, I use moving averages in my primary strategy for one simple reason. But, and I've had a bunch of EMAs on there before talking about the secondary baseline, the primary baseline. They all serve a purpose, but they're excuse my grammar here, they're far less good, clean, and objective than the baseline, right? Than one simple moving average that is designed to do a very specific particular purpose, right? Bulls and bear crosses, like we've gone over this before, golden crosses and death crosses on the daily, like the meme golden crosses and bull crosses, I think they've been absolutely wrong 80% of the time. So you would have actively made a ton of money if you would have just counter traded those signals. So as far as bull crosses and bear crosses, people, it's going to fall into the bucket of everything that people come in here with. And they're like, hey, what about this? What about that? I'm not no disrespect. I just don't think those things should be a primary part of your strategy. And when people, and in my experience, because I've mentored hundreds and hundreds of traders, when people say well, what about this? Well, what about that? What about this? What about that? It doesn't matter what it is. It could be, what about this Fibonacci retracement? What about this bull cross? What about this bear cross? What about this golden cross? What about this support and resistance level? What about this trend line? All of those things fall to me into the basket of I don't have a problem with those things. Those things can have a place in your technical analysis, but they shouldn't be the foundation of your technical analysis. They shouldn't be things that you see and you're like, oh, this now changes what I was previously thinking. In my opinion, I think they're far more subjective, and I think they're far more subject to moving the goalpost type trading. Let's call this information the poke and float. The old pokey flokey. Okay, 1234. We've gone over Bitcoin at length. Obviously, we're all just here together. Let's take a pause from this activity. Of course, let me know in the chat. I'll have obviously the chart up over here. But if Bitcoin starts jumping and bouncing like a Jack Russell Terrier, I obviously want to get in on that. But let's go over. Go over November's trading results. Okay. Cool. All right, cool. Seems like we got that all set up. Let's do That all looks good to me. Okay, wait, let me bring it back. Okay, cool. I think I got it. Kaboom. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that okay. My apologies if you cannot. Oh, come on. There we go. Kind of scrunch that down in the box a little bit. All right. Anyways, so this is going to be, this is Da Vinci, one of our senior analysts. I want to go over these numbers because, again, we are the only group that I am aware of on the internet that publishes results like this. And, you know, it's very simple why. Because we actually trade for profit, unlike 90% of the other LARPers that are running around out there. Because of this, we actually calculate like our dollar returns, all our dollar gains, our dollar cost basis, our hedging strategy. All of these things matter. We're also the only group out there that has developed an advanced trading journal that tracks all of this data programmatically like this. And this is available to all of our premium subscribers as well. There's you know, several pages of math here that I will not that I'm not going to talk about on stream, but I just want to go over the important points here. Now, this is also a template to show a good return for an individual with capital. So this is adjusted for position sizing, which is, again, something that other individuals don't do because most individuals don't even like position size. But I want to go over the keynotes. So obviously, Da Vinci having a very, very, very good month here. Let's see here. So very consistent position sizes with Da Vinci, using about 10% of equity per trade on his position sizing here. Excuse me, 30% of equity per trade on position sizing here. And Da Vinci's personal strategy is to increase, to treat his dollar trading account and his BTC trading account separately. So he is actively trading to gain both Bitcoin margin and dollar margin. Okay, he's got a little bit of a longer term perspective on there. Let's see here. So from the start of 1 BTC, he ends the month with 1.31 BTC. From a start of 10,000, he ends the month with about $11,003. So pretty good. Let's see here. Obviously ending the month with a $20,902 trading account balance for. Let's go over here. Current ROI on his BTC trades. So this is the actual return on investment from just his Bitcoin trades, was about 14.79%, which outperformed the market standard this month by quite a large shot. So very good success with his BTC-based trades. His ROI on his USD-based trades, and in this case Tether, because as you can see, Da Vinci is just trading on Binance here. This is just trading Bitcoin pairs and dollar Tether pairs. He returned about 5.25% ROI on his USD trade. So great monthly return. And then cumulatively, what this box corresponds, the number in the yellow, this is if you combine what the dollar gain of the Bitcoin that he made trading, combined with the actual dollar trading. So combining all of that, and this number would have been much higher with something like a short hedge, which Da Vinci did not have, because again, remember, he's sitting in Tether or sitting in cash with his dollar stack, and he's actively sitting in Bitcoin, and so he's not like short hedging or anything like that because he treats them differently. He's holding his Bitcoin for the long term. So again, just a different strategy. He's actively interested in increasing his BTC stack independently of his dollar stack. And then he has other activities that cover his cost of living. So he doesn't need to be pulling out. He's growing this as a portfolio for the future, for his retirement, for whatever he wants to do, but just consistently and actively growing money. And in that, he returned 9.33% cumulative USD. So again, beating the market standard by quite a bit. Fantastic month. Most traders would give their left eye for that, just to break even over a year. And then BTC alpha value. So this is how much this Da Vinci's decisions as a trader outperformed a buy and hold strategy on Bitcoin. And he outperformed a buy and hold strategy on Bitcoin by nearly 32%, 31.94%. So great return for Da Vinci. Very proud of him this month. Again, the only advice I would give here, And again, this is just a different strategy. I obviously approach the market differently. If he would be hedging his BTC value when BTC is macro bearish, he would have boosted that actual USD return up to something like 30 or 40%. But that's his personal decision, and he's quite happy with that. And who am I to influence? Obviously, he's having great success as a trader. So shout out to Da Vinci, fantastic trades this month, my sir, and looking forward to a future month of December of strength and profit with you, my friend. Other senior analyst, Alex, having a great month as well. Let's take a look here again, making a similar decision here, treating his BTC stack and his USD stack separately. So not actively hedging. And again, this is something that we're going to be introducing, I think, with how we express. What's the word I'm looking for here? This is just something that we might be introducing to his personal strategy. But again, in the absence of it, and that would be my only comment, because this would have boosted both Da Vinci and Alex's results quite significantly. But they've made the active decision to treat their BTC stack and their USD stack separately. And again, that's their own personal decision. And who am I to influence that as a trader? Because their returns are fantastic. So starting off with 0.5 BTC, ending the month with 0.67, 0.6 roughly 0.7 BTC, starting off $2,000 in capital, ending with 27.21. So he returned 15.31% ROI on just his BTC trades. So good there, very consistent with Da Vinci. I think battling for that BTC ROI between the two of them. Did return a little bit better on his USD based trades, 10.48%, for a cumulative return of 6.27%. And again, outperforming the BTC market buy and hold strategy. So his market alpha is 37.35%. So again, fantastic month from Alex. Another great month from him. Very pleased. And again, I think some of the best, obviously I want to give a huge shout out to Alex because he's really improved. Not improved because he's always been absolutely fantastic trader. But he's really becoming very comfortable with his mentoring. I know a lot of members in the group are prospering, profiting from his trades, profiting from and improving their own trading strategy from his mentoring, as he details in great description why he's taking the trades, the indicators that he's using, what signals he's looking for, relying heavily on time transformation, which is a proprietary indicator of ours that we've created, as well as the Fisher Transform, which is its base, and volume profile. He is the volume profile king. So make sure to go check him out. Give him a shout out. If you're watching, my friend, it's always a pleasure trading with you. So we have, boom. And then, of course, my returns right here. And again, the only thing that's different here is that this is an example profile. So what I've done and what I always do is I try to make this very accessible to individuals. So the only thing that is modified here from my actual trading sheet is the starting capital, because I do want people to realize what consistently profitable trading can do with a small account balance. We understand that a lot of people entering, and I believe Alex and Da Vinci are doing the same thing. I understand that individuals entering the space, a lot of the guys watching the stream, a lot of the gals watching the stream, you guys aren't trading with a 6 or 7 figure dollar account, and that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I want you guys to see mathematically what you guys can return in the crypto markets with a small account. As I've talked about over and over and over again, a $5,000 to $10,000 account can do a lot of damage. So with a template of starting off with $5,000 USD, we do end the month with $6,636.26. Combined total capital of $66.27. 24% ROI on my BTC trades. That's just looking at the actual profitability of my alt to BTC trades alone. My actual return on my USD trades was 11.29%. And because I was hedging all of my BTC value in a down market, my actual ROI in USD terms, combining that, preserving that capital basis of BTC, was 32.56%. That was my actual return on equity in dollar terms for the month. So whatever my account balance was previously, that's the actual return. And I beat the market standard. I beat a buy and hold strategy on Bitcoin by 45.68%. So overall, November was another fantastic month for us. I want to give a big, big thank you to everybody that helped contribute to this month's results, that everybody that provided their analysis, that everybody that worked on their strategies, communicated in the members lounge. We've grown and grown and grown. And it's just a continued pleasure to work with you, gentlemen, to be in the space with you, to educate as we are, to trade as we are, to mentor as we are. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And just a huge shout out to my team. A huge shout out to everybody that makes this possible from behind the scenes. Obviously, Jason, Scott, Ben, Jack, Alex, Da Vinci, Andre, Paul, everybody. And if I missed anybody, I'm really, really sorry, but it's just always a genuine pleasure to work with you guys. And you guys are some of the best in the business. And I'm really honored that you guys make your home with us and continue to trade with us and continue to work with us. So huge shout out, team. Thank you guys. All right. With that being said, we return to the, I can get this off my screen actually, excuse me. Okay. With that being said, let's return to BTC USD and just sit here and plot and strategize. We've gone over entries before. Again, closing the day on a strong note, getting the daily signal from tomorrow. We will be looking up at that $79 to $8,100 shelf for targets for long trades and also re-entries for short trades. I think this is a prime opportunity for anybody that caught the wick to the upside. This is definitely a spot where you guys want to be taking some profit off the table and protecting yourself in case we do break to the upside, even though the high probability is that we do break to the downside. Giving a little bit of time here, it'll probably be later on this evening or maybe even early morning, like 4 o'clock a.m. Tomorrow before we actually get the dump to the downside, or at least the PTP short signal on something like the 2-hour time frame. What is interesting is that this pump has eradicated Renko. As far as my Renko settings are going, we are now above the baseline on Renko. We're above the baseline on the Renko time frame right here. We are hesitantly printing a red brick tentatively, although that's not confirmed yet, but we did retrace basically 3 bricks of Renko within a span of about 10 minutes. So that's to be expected. Don't have a signal to be going long from this, although if we do close another consecutive Renko brick, that would have an effect on our hedge. Get rid of it. It's going to 0. But again, I just want to point this out. We are sitting above VWAP on the LTF, so we are consolidating right at the daily point of control. And often, again, I just kind of want to retreat back to what's happened when that's previously happened. As you guys can see, here is us grinding this level out with a little bit of fluctuation. Here is us having a deviation from it and just grinding this level out for a long period of time. Then we kind of have that drastic drop here below the point of control. And previously, the daily point of control was down here, and we ground that level out for literally the entire day. Literally the entire day. So, just again, my advice stands. If you did not have your limit sell order up in the gap fill area and you don't have a clear direction on which way to take price, it's probably not a good time for you to be entering into anything. Again, wait to see if price sweeps the highs here. 7.9, 8.1 is going to give you a great entry for a short. Wait to see if we get a daily long signal tomorrow. It's going to give you a good short-term momentum trade to the upside to recoup some of your losses, or just to add to your gains if you were taking a trade in that direction, or wait for the breakdown. Again, wait for the daily close. Wait to see how strong the sell-off is here. Again, in my opinion, and I don't like price levels, but getting below 7,300, getting back below that 2-hour baseline here, printing another red, reestablishing the Renko red brick downtrend. That's going to be like good night, man. That's going to be good night. You don't retrace. Again, we just have not done that in Bitcoin. Can it happen? Yes, but again, when you have a big blow off top like that, like a legitimate, like absolute raid for short liquidity, and you just completely sell off the entire gains of that movement, it's not a sign of strength. It's not a sign of strength. If the bulls were strong, they'd be pushing price up right now, and so we'll give them time to see if they've got the gas in the tank to continue to push price, But right now, every time we've seen this happen, like price is completely tanked following. It's completely tanked following, right? The only other mitigating factors here, the only mitigating factor that we talked about yesterday was the fact that the CME gap was yet to be filled. And we've seen that get filled right now on a massive pump wick that we've seen time and time again has got absolutely sold into, and price just absolutely tanked. And when we go back and look at the monthly, when we go back and look at the monthly close, when we go look at our fundamental indications over here, for example, what is hash ribbons doing? We are still in a period of minor capitulation. Hash ribbons is still giving us that short signal. We have not seen BitMEX negative funding spike significantly. Yes, funding is negative, which often means that when funding is quite negative, too many people are trying to short the market. But we also see that even when funding turns negative, we can still be in for significant corrections to the downside, significant sell-offs. It's only when we get these big blow-offs these outliers in the funding rate that price actually turns around. And again, that's sometimes a delayed effect. Again, here we can see the funding spike happen on the 23rd of June, and we still had a good 20-30% to go to the upside before we actually corrected and turned around. So tread cautiously, gentlemen. Now we'll take a little bit of questions here. Lefty on Fire says that candle came an hour after I closed for the night. Was in at 71.20. Whoops. Well, similarly, I was in a short. You know, I grabbed the momentum to the downside last night, and again peeled out about a 1% short, and then I hit the TP1, and then price was pulling up, and it was late. I was up all night working with the team. I went to bed around 2 o'clock in the morning, unfortunately, which is outside my regular routine. Closed that trade out. Didn't want to be in an active trade. I don't generally like being in anything I take intraday. I don't want to hold open over the night, right? Because there's just I'm trading at like 40 to 60% confidence instead of 80 to 90% confidence when I'm taking daily swing setups or daily positional setups. So took my profit on that short, and then was just, spot long essentially on, so not spot long. I was long on my ByBit contract, but because I have a larger hedge on my hedge account. So again, just I have the same amount of dollars that I had last night as I woke up this morning as far as my Bitcoin trades are going. Now, this latest dump has pushed some of my BitMEX shorts, has pushed some of my Binance trades into good profitability. Especially I was still long on XRP USD. Yes, I know, long on XRP USD. It's a trade, not a position, guys. Calm down. I'm not an investor in Ripple. That's pushed that up into a decent position as well. But anyways, all of these things. Profit Bear, good to see you, man. Wally, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. David D says, hypothetical, asking for a friend. Someone invested in and is sitting at about even for his entire account at this time. Should he be considering selling 50% now and waiting for a break to the downside, or a long rally, or holding? So again, I want to give the same consistent advice that I always give to everybody, and this is what I give to the members as well. We're in a macro bear market. You can be picking tops and bottoms if you want. That is your right. That is your decision as an investor and as a trader, right? If you're asking that question, you really shouldn't be in Bitcoin around this point in time, right? What I think is the best for everybody, and again, this is not to be construed as financial advice for your investments, right? And I don't say that for the meme that everybody says, because I specifically anyway, I don't want to get into that old tired argument, but this is just good, in my opinion, sound advice from somebody who's been doing this for a long time. If you're going to buy Bitcoin as an investor, then you buy it and you hold it and you don't look at it, right? I do that with the Bitcoin that I have in cold storage. I don't hedge it. I don't mess with it. I don't touch it. I don't look at it. I look at it sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I do look at it. And it's just there because I fundamentally believe in Bitcoin for the long term, right? Everything that I'm trading with, if you're looking to be active with your positioning, then you've got to sit down and develop a trading strategy or a positioning strategy before you actually get your hands dirty. Because then if you have money in the market starts moving, you're going to make generally irrational decisions that are not based off your logical strategic setup. You're going to be making decisions based on, the candle's green, I'm going to buy. No, the candle's red, I'm going to sell. The candle, So, and again, this isn't not to be disparaging to you whatsoever. Not to be disparaging in any way whatsoever, my friend. Thank you so much for the question. It's a great question. So I'm not going to answer you based off my analysis. I've made that very clear. I've been here every single day giving my analysis of where I think the market is going to move. I think that if you are sitting at break even and your desire is to trade, then I would exit at break even, establish a strategy, and then return to the market when I am ready. If your desire is to hold, then I would hold. Kryptonian says, that was creepy. I switched to YouTube and there he looked right. But here on DLive, he looked west. He looked left. Bizarro world. Who in their right mind would trade for profit? Wait, are LARPers not in a safe space? Oh, shoot. Goodbye or goodbye? As in like, no. Not goodbye as in like good deal. As in like goodbye. Like, good night, sweet prince. See you down at 5K. Wally, thank you so much for the $25 ruse, my friend. He says, wow, Justin giving out premium info on the public YouTube channel. Tell you what, Gunbot University will sponsor that amazing freebie. Learn, earn, and don't get burned. Thank you so much, my good friend. I have so much space behind me on the wall. Why don't I just put an XRP poster to fill the space? You know, I do have some Tron sunglasses around here. I'll tell you what. Listen, I'll say this about Tron, right? Fairly neutral on the project. Don't have anything negative. Don't really have anything positive to say. But they sponsored, they had a Tron taco bus at San Francisco Blockchain Week. And if you guys want some good tasting tacos, Tron knows how to make them. I'm just going to say that. Delicious. And they got some cool sunglasses. Not gonna lie. Nobody throws a party like eToro. That's all I'm gonna say. eToro's parties are banging. Moving along from that. Does seem like, you know what? It does seem like this is cut off a little bit, doesn't it? Seems like you guys should be seeing more of the chart. Let me see if I can't fix this before we go to break. And this is, you know, I'm thinking about making an update to the layout here so that you guys can see the chart just a little bit bigger. Yeah. Okay. See, the only problem is then it gets like smaller. Yeah, I definitely got to figure that out, huh? Eesh. Okay. What about that? Looks, does that look bad? You guys cool with that? We can make that work for now, right? And then we can revisit this. You know, the ratio is the kind of issue here. But there, at least you guys can now see the stuff on the right. Apologies. I just noticed that. Wendy, tell us everything that you know about the liquidation engines. Well, they keep the engines in Switzerland. They fuel them with diesel, raw diesel. And they wait, Wendy. They sit there and wait with well-trained Spetsnaz agents until they know that you've gone all in. And then bump it. You know how it works, man. Come on, bro. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It is 1 o'clock. We've been going for an hour, guys. For 1 hour. Show us some love, guys. This is a marathon session here. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Come watch us over on DLive. I think it is dlive.tv/Kraken Crypto. Come give us some love over there. In fact, to give some love back to our DLivians, we're going to be throwing some lemons in the chest. If you guys participate in the chat or do any lemon donations, you guys will be added to the pool. When I come back from break, we're going to distribute those DLive rewards and actively reward those who are helping us and sponsoring us and supporting us over on that platform. If you guys have not already, share the video to at least your mom. You know your mom wants to hang out with you. You haven't called her in a few months anyways. You feel bad about it. You can watch together the show with her. You can even chat while you're doing it. Just call her up. Be like, hey, come watch Kraken Crypto with me. She's going to love it. She's going to love it. Make sure to throw any comments in the chat while I'm gone. When we return, we're going to be talking about Dash's exit scam. We're going to be talking about Lightning Network adoption and why did Satoshi Nakamoto choose 21 million coins in today's cryptocurrency interviews and insights segment. Thank you guys so much for hanging around. If you guys are interested in trading along with us and seeing some of the gains that you saw when we did our P&L report, you guys can, of course, go over to premium.krakencryptocurrency.com to select our trial package. You can get a 1 week free, try out the group for yourself, see how it feels, or just hop in the Discord and ask any information for current members, ask any staff, ask around, and make sure to join our Discord no matter what you do. So with that initial shilling out of the way, as Gary Vee says, I don't sell other products on this channel. I saw myself. Let's go Let's go hear a word from our friends Midwest Attempts and ByBit, and we'll be back after this short break, guys. Thank you so much. This is Jason when he first learned about Bitcoin margin trading on BitMEX.
Why? Why? Give it back! Give it back! Give it back!
This is Jason 6 months later after signing up for ByBit with the Kraken cryptocurrency referral link found in the description below. Don't make the same mistake as Jason. Sign up today at bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com. And we're back. Thank you so much for your patience during the break. It does take a break to keep the marathon session going. All right, guys. Let's get into today's scuttlebutt. Quick check-in with Mr. BTC. A little bit of a bullish green candle pushing above today's point of control. Nothing very indicative, nothing very impressive yet to see, currently being sold into. Let's see what the strength to the upside looks like. Oh, good water on a good Wednesday. Let's see here. Let's just check these comments. And also, let's distribute these rewards to our DLive followers over there. Distributing the chest right now, gentlemen. Unknown Now, thank you so much for the comment on the Jason ByBit ad. Actually, Jason's going to be coming over tomorrow, and we're going to be shooting some new footage. Lefty on Fire is just here for the lemon huddle. No shame. No shame. And welcome in Blockchain Gains and Michael Weston. Good to see you guys. Wendy2 is looking for an indicator that will alert if there is an unusual amount of volume compared with all of the Bitcoin bucket shops. Yeah, so an arbitrage indicator would work. You would kind of want to be doing just like whale alerts. I think that's one of the best kind of fundamental go-tos is watching whale alerts, maybe setting up some chainalysis, looking at movements on the blockchain. As far as actually, you can see crypto inflow and outflow. There's an indicator for that on TradingView. That's a pretty good one. Our good friend, Bitcoin Trading Challenge, who we've had on the show several times, Bennett over there, he has made a video on the crypto inflow outflow indicator. So I'd recommend going and checking that out, of course. We've got some big winners today. Forza World TV, Wendy2, Moosey Geek, good to see you. And Midwest Attempts, winning big with the distribution of today's DLive chest. Congratulations, guys, and thank you for your continued support. About $55 million worth of liquidations today. He says, are we 420 refreshed? Peckham 27. I'm a pretty strong advocate. Again, just to quote one of my favorite songs, all research in successful drug policy shows the treatment should be increased and law enforcement decreased while abolishing mandatory minimum sentences. I am a huge advocate for the decriminalization of drugs across all the continental United States. I'm a strong advocate for the libertarian view on that. I feel that is unethical, immoral, impractical, and wrong-sided, and actually inefficient to law enforcement or reducing crime or reducing addiction rates to lock people in prison. So I am supportive of decriminalization of all substances. It's immoral for the government to tell you what you can and cannot do with your body. A legal crime is a meme that is often pointed out to, well, if drugs just were legal, people would just be running through the streets, raping, murdering, and pillaging. That is absolutely ridiculous and stands in stark contrast to all the evidence that we have as a society from the scientific community that has done research on this in other countries, other jurisdictions that have decriminalized drug use. We have seen, given enough time for society to normalize, that violent crime decreases and actual crime does decrease. Of course, every single individual pocket of society is slightly different, but the war on drugs is short-sighted, wrong, immoral, and costs the taxpayer money when that money could, for a very smaller percentage of that amount of money, go into treatment, which all, again, research and successful drug policy shows is the most effective at actually combating addiction and drug problems. That's my stance on that. But myself, I do not use substances. I am a very firm advocate also of a clean life, of living clean. Marijuana does not agree with me. So that's just my personal take on it. I try to be very, very, very frugal in my approach toward that. Of course, I've had my 20s, had my fun, but just, as an adult, it's just not something that I find is conducive to my efficiency, to my productivity, and something that I'm not generally a big, like, yeah, man, like, let's hang out and smoke some weed. Absolutely cool. Some of my closest friends are partakers of the cannabis sativa. No problem with that. It affects every individual different. Going back to the Arrowwood statement, another website and open source project that I promote. It's not really open source. It's just free domain. Arrowwood.org. Every substance affects every individual differently. Know your substance. Know your source. Know your research. So, just consume responsibly, guys. I got 5 on. Stop. Smoking endo with that weed. By the way, and I think, germane to that conversation. Obviously, for us in the Bitcoin space, the Silk Road and Ross Ulbricht issue is a very, kind of hot button issue. I think that a lot of Bitcoiners are very, very vehemently in support of the freeross.org campaign and petition. A lot of individuals in the space look to Ross Ulbricht as somewhat of a hero. I did watch a very interesting YouTube documentary last night by, I believe it was Barely Sociable. And that is, I think it's called the Dark Side of Silk Road, or the Hidden Side of Silk Road. It's about an hour and 25 minutes long, so you guys definitely want to kind of settle in for that. But I highly recommend that everybody go out and watch that. I had the chance to watch that over the last few days, and really, I think it's really, really, really important for people to have a very clear picture of Ross, of exactly what went down with Silk Road. And I'll leave my comments on that vague for now. I want you guys to go out and do your own research and draw your own conclusions from that. But it was very, very, it did make an impact on me as far as my opinion on just Ross in particular, just Ross Ulbricht, Dread Pirate Roberts, the Silk Road incident, which, again, many of us are very familiar with and have very, very heated opinions on. But I'll just leave that for now. I recommend that video for you guys to watch in conjunction with all the other research that I'd like you guys to do independently. And let's move on from that topic into today's Cryptocurrently Interviews and Insights segment, where we will be discussing Dash, why did Satoshi choose 21 million Bitcoins? And we'll also be talking about the Lightning Network getting an adoption boost. So thank you guys, and let's get into today's Cryptocurrently. All right, our first story of the day is going to be on Dash. Now, Dash masternode shares owner vanishes, Mu Cow Mu, vanishes, it seems, with investor funds. So the question here is, has the Dash Core senior advisor that goes by the name of Mu Cow Mu pulled an exit scam with a so far unknown quantity of Dash investor funds? It sure is looking like it, and this is what we know so far. Bearing all the classic hallmarks of an exit scam, the controversy surfaced yesterday when one user, Aurelian, posted a message to the Dash forum. We'll go to Dash Uncensored here on Twitter and go over this a little bit. So, we'll kind of start off with this one. We won't be actually pulling up Aurelian's, but Aurelian could hardly, let's actually see if we can find his message. Yeah, here we go. So here's Aurelian's original message here on the discussion forums. So Aurelian could hardly be accused here, I think fairly, of jumping to conclusions or panicking early, as he seems to have refrained from sounding the alarm despite his growing suspicion for months. And here he says, on the 10th of August, users of Mu Cow Mu's shared masternode service received an email informing us that he is shutting down his service and apologizing for being in the dark so long. And he quotes Mu Cow Mu's original post, an email chain here, where he says, quote, so to address the stress, I will be shutting down shares and sending back all deposits to their origination address within a week or two as time permits. Aurelian then continues, and he says, this was obviously quite a relief for me. I wanted to get my money back. But since receiving this email, again, on the 10th of August, have not heard from Mu Cow Mu. So his questions are, who else has lost money? Should we start a Telegram group or try to get organized? Do we know his identity in real life? That's always a very, very iffy topic. I'm always very, very much against that. Anonymity is sacrosanct here in the Bitcoin community. And he hopes to get some discussion going about this because it is getting late. Obviously, we are now in November. This was quite a few months ago. Now, so it does seem as if this is from the Dash Discord right here. Now, Dash users who locked up their funds with Mu Cow Mu's shared masternode service were emailed on August 10th earlier this year, in which Mu Cow Mu stated what I just read to you guys. However, of course, it is now December 2nd. Sorry, I said November. And it does seem that since then, Mu Cow has vanished into thin air. Aurelian confirmed that he has not established any contact with the Dash Core Group senior advisor, and he requested, obviously, that other possible victims chime in. Now, another user And this is also from the Dash Discord right here. Another user, Scombo, replied that he too has not heard a word from Mu since September and reached out to several others in the network, in the Dash network, trying to reveal the advisor's true identity, so far without success. And he added, quote, also might be worth involving the Dash core group, as this reflects very poorly on Dash, particularly as he was a prominent member of the team. And we can see here the reply that there is power in numbers and simply linking them to the dash.org forum. So not helpful to say the least. Now, while the official Dash team confirmed that they were aware of the Dash Core Group senior advisor and owner of the Masternode shares service, that they were aware that he was shutting down and according to him, returning the funds, they failed to provide any further assistance with this. And after pleading to the Dash team for help with getting investors in touch with Mu, since the issue was causing, quote, a lot of stress, users pretty much got told to figure it out on their own, as we can see from these screenshots. Dash replied simply with, quote, there is power in numbers. Now, what Dash meant by this power in numbers isn't very clear. Does he mean the power of the number of stolen Dash Mu? Does he mean the power of the amount of Dash that Mu seems to have fled with, or does he mean power and the number of people falling victim to yet another CD crypto exit scam with no recourse or even support from the management of the Dash project? And tellingly, from the official Dash website, we can see here, grabbed from the Wayback Machine, Mu is listed as the senior advisor with all of his information here on the official Dash website. That information has since been removed, and it does seem that the Dash team is in the effort of whitewashing and scrubbing away information about their involvement with Mu. Fortunately, we live in a world where digital information is typically around forever. So compliments of the Wayback Machine, we can see that, yes, he was a registered member, or registered, whatever the word you want to use for it. He was listed on the Dash website under their administration team as a senior advisor. All of this is well known about. The Dash team has commented on this, and I'm very much against what seems to be their attempt to whitewash this attempt away. Going down this Twitter thread, all the links, this does seem to be approaching scam levels quite quickly. And here we see that they're trying to say that Mu was not of Dash Core. Here is Fernando, the Dash Core Group Chief Marketing Officer, apparently lying on Twitter that the developer that disappeared with the funds was never hired by the Dash Core Group. Images from docs.dash.org. So here is Fernando. He is the chief marketer here, apparently, for the Dash Core Group. It says you didn't fact check and only reached out to us for comment after publishing. Then you didn't update the article with the information we provided. Mu was never hired by DCG and left the project years ago. Here claiming that this is about his private business, which is true. And it's not even clear if he's done anything with the funds. We strongly condemn his behavior and have been trying to communicate with him for months to help community members affected by this. However, that does not seem, and we can again see, but that does not seem consistent with the responses from the Dash team in the Dash Discord or their responses here on Discord. We can see here directly from the Dash website, Masternode.me, operated by forum member and Dash core developer Mu offers sequential reports on the price, generation rate, blockchain info, and some information on masternodes. Here we see officially sponsored and approved and listed as a member of the Dash core group as a Dash core developer, Mu, despite their marketing officers' protestations on Twitter. And here is an archive, again, listing him as advisor on the web archive. Here's the Dash website. And here is the Dash Core Group. Again, this is the Wayback Machine. So this is from July of 2019. And here we can see that Fernando individual as Chief Marketing Officer. And let's see if we cannot find Mu listed as a senior advisor, member of the Dash Core Group, despite Fernando's, their chief marketing officer's, protestations to the contrary. So, unfortunately, this does seem to be yet another seedy crypto exit scam with the Dash Core Group offering little, if any, recourse or blatant, and from my opinion, blatantly lying about the situation, attempting to whitewash and scrub away internet history. Thanks to tools like the Web Archive and the Wayback Machine, we can actually validate that their lies are indeed lies. So I just want to reach out and apologize, not apologize because I didn't do anything wrong, but I just want to give my condolences and my sympathies to individuals who are caught up in yet another a seedy crypto scam project. Again, I don't want to make my comments necessarily about Dash. I've had negative opinions about Dash, but I don't think that has anything to do with, actually how the blockchain runs or operates. This is more a complaint about their management. And yet again, what I see individuals do over and over and over again when they get pushed up into a wall by poor decisions on who they choose to work with, instead of being honest and telling the truth and doing their best to help investors recoup funds, or doing their best to be honest and make whole the situation, they just attempt to lie, whitewash, scrub, protect themselves, which never ends up working. It always ends up biting you in the ass again. And this is very difficult for a lot of people, but a life of honesty is a life well lived. Even if you end up, taking the slings and arrows, you always try to stay true to yourself. You always try to make the world a better place. You always attempt to put your best foot forward and just be honest and ethical with people. For example, myself as a mentor, there have been times when I have not provided good analysis. There have been times when I have been wrong about the market, and of course that is to be expected. But I have had my share of things that I've done wrong in my life, and I've done the best in my adult life to make whole the mistakes that I've made. And that is the message that I try to convey to you guys: a life of ethics, a life of honesty, a life of decency, regardless if it does not give you short-term gains, because scamming, manipulation, those things can produce tremendous profits and gain in the short term. But just like winning the lottery, those gains are almost completely wiped away, torn away, and destroyed in the long term, given a long enough period of time. And it is the consistent, ethical, honest approach to life that does generate those long-term gains, not only for yourself, but for your family, for your friends, and improves the quality of your life on this planet Earth. So just a message to the Dash Core team here, guys: do the right thing. Do the right thing and stop trying to lie about this. So let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. If you guys are watching this in a Breaking Bitcoin Bits segment after the live stream, leave your comments down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on this topic. Did we get this right? Is there information that we should know? Am I omitting things? And let me know if you guys especially have been affected by this. I'd really like some information more on the inside, either from the Dash Discord or from, and again, if the Dash Core team wants to reach out and make a statement or a comment on this, I'd be happy to host both sides of this argument. But I think it is really incumbent, and the ball is in the Dash Core team's court here to do the right thing. Our second story for today is going to be on Bitfinex and the Lightning Network. Now, the Lightning Network for years has been marketed as the solution for instant Bitcoin transfers that come at near zero fees. However, the Layer 2 solution has remained largely experimental and struggled to gain traction among the users and the industry at large, very similar to Bitcoin itself in its early years, I would argue. Now, Bitfinex is integrating Lightning Network for instant deposit and withdrawals on their exchange. And this latest announcement is arguably the biggest positive development in the Lightning Network to date as far as adoption goes. And it sets a precedent for Bitfinex as the first cryptocurrency exchange to adopt it for the use of deposits and withdrawals. Now, this was announced yesterday by Bitfinex that support for the Lightning Network could mark an important moment in the Lightning Network's history, which unfortunately has lacked significant major institutional adoption up into this day. And according to Bitfinex's CTO, Paulo Ardoino, I always mispronounce that, I've said it several times, the exchange will begin supporting deposits and withdrawals with the Lightning Network starting on December 3rd. So yesterday, so this is, we covered this, we should have covered this a couple days ago, but getting to it now. So yesterday, allowing users to enjoy quick transfers that are cheaper than on-chain transactions. In addition, Bitfinex users can also run their own Lightning Network node to connect to Bitfinex's network to even make this process easier. Now, again, this move makes Bitfinex the first major crypto exchange to integrate the Lightning Network onto its platform. Now, while many observers in the space understand the importance of Lightning as a solution to scale Bitcoin and even boost privacy, the network has been met with a large amount of skepticism, or even far out as outright protestations from those who feel that Bitcoin should only be scaled on chain. And a recent Twitter thread here, user, let's see if we can't find it. Sorry, I don't have the. Here we go. In a Twitter thread from Spencer Noon over here on Twitter, he asked the community why they thought the Lightning Network's adoption has stalled as of lately. And he posts some statistics here as far as Lightning Network node growth, on channels opening up, on capacity per channel, on network capacity. And opinions were obviously naturally mixed, as we can see just kind of going through the Twitter responses here. While some believe that the network wasn't as secure as it had been advertised, others chimed in with the notion that people prefer to hold their Bitcoins instead of spend them. Another problem that seems to stand out for the Lightning Network, or at least the complaints, is that as it currently sits, it has a poor user experience, a user interface. Developers have yet to create a user-friendly and reliable experience for non-technical users or those who wish to use the Lightning Network. With the network still largely experimental and attracting only so far early hobbyists and curious developers, it's clear that obviously mainstream adoption will require ironing out many of the finer details of Lightning Network use, interface, and integration before more liquidity comes on board and Lightning is able to leverage the network effect to support more reliable transactions. On the whole, public opinion based on Spectre Noon's Twitter thread was that there's a lot the network could do better. But I would argue that with Bitfinex's integration, the Lightning Network's prospects could be seriously warming up heading into 2020. Although Bitfinex is the only exchange to have publicly integrated the network into its core functionality, there's now the very real possibility that other exchanges will follow suit. Now, with trading and exchange activity representing the great portion of today's Bitcoin utility, any possibility of exchange traffic shifting to the Lightning Network could be and could represent a massive and much needed infusion of liquidity into the Layer 2 network. Now, I would argue that this may just be the beginning of the Lightning Network spreading its wings to fly into the coming decades. So the question is 2020 going to be the year of the Lightning? Again, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions if you're watching this in a Breaking Bitcoin Bits after the taping of this episode, or if you're live in the show, please let me hear your thoughts and comments, and I'll go over this at the Q&A section. Our final story of today is going to be focused around something near and dear to my heart, which is the fundamentals of Bitcoin and obviously the scaling solution and the supply overhead. Why did Satoshi Nakamoto choose 21 million Bitcoins to only ever be mined as Bitcoin's maximum supply? Now, it's important to understand that Bitcoin's now famous supply figure of 21 million was set from the inception by its creator, Satoshi Nakamoto himself. But many question, like, what was the reasoning for this seemingly arbitrary figure for the supply cap? Bitcoin is obviously quite famous for the deflationary curve of its miner reward system, which slows the rate at which new coins are minted and join the existing supply. This gives it a layer of scarcity that fiat currencies do not and will not have, and provides the appeal typically found with precious metals, for instance. Now, this supply of Bitcoin is capped at 21 million and can never be altered, and this hard cap represents one of the main attractions of Bitcoin as a form of sound money. Although many have discussed the reasons for instituting a maximum cap, few know about why Satoshi chose 21 million as the benchmark. Thankfully, we have many posts still saved from the early days of Bitcoin, recording Satoshi's thoughts and rationale to help us better understand this question. For starters, The total number of Satoshis in circulation, which is easily figured out by 21 million Bitcoin times 100 million Satoshis per bit, is an IEEE floating point number. Now, the IEEE floating point is an important arithmetic principle in computer science. And yes, we're stepping definitely out of my bounds of understanding here. And makes computation far easier, which is why these numbers are commonly used in computational operating systems. However, there are other reasons for the 21 million Bitcoin benchmark besides bare computer science technicals. In one archived message from Satoshi, he went on to state that it was a difficult choice because once the network is going, it's locked in and we're stuck with it. And he went on in his full statement to say that, quote, if you imagine it being used for some fraction of world commerce, then there's only going to be 21 million coins for the whole world. So it would be worth much more per unit. Values are 64-bit integers with 8 decimal places, so one coin is represented internally as one with 7 zeros behind it. There's plenty of granularity. If typical price becomes small, for example, if 0.001 Bitcoin is worth €1, then it might be easier to change where the decimal point is displayed. So if you had 1 Bitcoin, it's now displayed as 1,000, and 0.001 is displayed as 1. Judging from these early ponderings, Satoshi did obtain the possibility of Bitcoin adoption climbing to the point of world currency. Therefore, if Bitcoin were to ever climb to the level of being utilized as a global world currency, there is enough individual units of currency to sustain the economy for some time. Now, with 8 decimal places to work with, products or services presented Bitcoin values or future pricing and denomination of Satoshis can remain flexible enough for society to work with as the value of each individual Bitcoin scales dramatically over the years. Now, while this explains the makeup of Bitcoin into 8 decimal places worth of Satoshis, the question still remains, why 21 million exactly? Well, that simply comes down to the fact that a number had to be chosen, and 21 million possessed all the easily calculable dimensions, which made it the ideal candidate. The choice to make 21 million the cap was therefore partially rationalized and partly made arbitrarily. Fundamentally, 21 million was chosen because it makes computation simpler and is a direct consequence of some of the other parameters hard-coded into the original design, namely how new Bitcoin is created through the block reward system and how that had been structured in the original code. And when you break down 4 years worth of blocks at 6 blocks per hour, there are approximately 210,000 total blocks per halving cycle. The sum of block reward sizes is 100, and multiplied by the 210,000 total blocks per halving gives us 21 million Bitcoin. Now, while the math lines up, it could also just be a coincidence, and the true answer, like Satoshi's identity, may never fully be known. I do kind of feel like with that last little paragraph there, we did kind of get into the Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the chart on the wall, like, bro, I found the bottom. So again, as usual, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below if you're watching this in a Breaking Bitcoin Bits or if you're catching this on the live recording. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. What is your personal take on why 21 million Bitcoins was presented? Was it mathematical? Was it for computer science? Or was Satoshi like, I had to choose a number, bro. It's 21 million. Not quit thinking into it too much. Or is there the hardcore Illuminati reason why 21 million was chosen? And if you have the answer to that, I would love to hear it. But thank you guys for joining us for today's Crypto Currently segment. And now we will get back into your regularly scheduled technical analysis. And not much going on over here in Bitcoin world. All right. Crypto Jack says, that's crazy, man. Have you ever done DMT? No comment, sir. Wendy2's new gamer tag is DP Rob from now. Guru James, good to see you, my friend. Michael Weston says, gotta be a joke in there somewhere. There always is. Dash, what's in a name? Senior manager named Moo Cow Moo selling a token called Dash. Pass. Yeah, who'd have thought a guy named Moo Cow Moo wouldn't take it seriously? Paul, thank you so much, my friend. He says, absolutely incredible show today. Thank you so much, my friend. It's Hard says, 21 million plus soft fork equals 210 million equals Fed. ETH1 asks or says, how many Bitcoin is lost in forgotten private keys? I believe that number is estimated around 5 to 6 million Bitcoin. Is 21 an Illuminate number? I don't know. The Illuminati stopped answering my phone calls. Michael Weston says it's a Fibonacci number, around 3 million. 21 is now my new favorite number. I will not lie. I know that I probably shouldn't, but I do like the Mike Will Made It Miley Cyrus 21 video. It's just saying, man. It's a good one. Derek, thank you so much for the subscription over there on YouTube, my friend. And we're cruising into the back half of the show, guys. 18 minutes left for the live stream. 18 minutes left for the live stream. Let me know if you guys have requests. If you guys have questions, this is a great time to get me in my natural environment. Crikey, mates. View the natural YouTuber in his natural environment, in front of the ring light, DSLR camera on, looking at the chat, prepared to answer questions. Let's see if we can rile him up a bit. No. Oh, by the way, big shout out to everybody in the ByBit Brawl who is crushing it right now. We've got some great gainers in there. Checking over with Mr. Ethereum over here. Very similar to BTC. Not a whole lot to comment on here. Let's go take a look at F Bitcoin. Yeah, initial dramatic move down, and since has been bought back significantly. The one thing I'm keeping my eye on is ZERP Bitcoin, because again, I've been looking at this for a while, and this just looks like it is ready to fall off this cliff, ladies and gentlemen. You know, breaking down past Wicks City down here. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that baby open. Let's go. That is just an arbitrary line. But come on, guys. Just need everybody to go in there and just market sell ZERP. Let's do this, guys. We can do this together. Goblin Moblin says, Mr. Stream, am I bullish or bearish on BTC? Very, very simple answer. I think that there is a real possibility of jumping up and tagging 7.98.1. I don't think that there is a profitable setup with an edge on the table right now. I think that individuals that got filled at the CME gap, as we talked about as a possible strategy, I think that they should be looking to take partial profits right now and moving their stop loss to break even or setting a trailing stop, just locking in and securing their trade. I think that for the majority of individuals, they want to be still hedged to the downside. I'm still very, very confident in my lower targets of 5.9K. I do believe we blow out the bottom on this, but we might jump up and tag 7.98.1K. And it's a possibility that on tomorrow's daily close that we do actually get a trending long signal and we can potentially look to take a trade to the upside. I think the safest way to do that is to remain in the hedge, take the long from a cash neutral basis on a different account, and potentially still yet use another account still to be getting filled on those limit sell orders at 7.9 to 8.1K. So potentially targeting that area for your initial take profit on any BTC USD long that may come out of this on the daily. And locking in your profits there while you're getting filled on the short trade. That way you can take the long trade to the upside, get into a full risk short at a good optimum entry level, and all of this couched within a larger short hedge as well, or sitting in cash, whatever your perspective is. Again, I prefer to just short hedge. It's the same as sitting in cash, however, so that's going to be you guys' own bias and perspective. And of course, I'm drinking Shine on the job, man. Were you able to load multiple different chart layouts, or did you build them separately from scratch? So I built all of these from scratch. In fact, I built this Ethereum one live on the air the other day. Of course, I'm drinking Shine on the job. I'm a trader, man. Got to stay calm at some point. Mr. Ether says, shh, I'm not positive yet in the brawl. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. Ends BTC. Any updates? Nothing yet, my sir. Nothing yet, my good friend. Let's see here. Nothing's changed to invalidate this trade so far. So this is just a position that we will hold open. Potentially might be going in for another baseline bounce or reversal in trend. Again, this is an opportunity we've had to grab these trades to the upside. And if we go and look at our sister trade, which is Doc BTC, which we put on last night. Obviously, Doc was a great trade for us. Make sure that if you guys did get into the Doc trade that we recommended last night, that you do. Obviously, we've hit take profit 1, so make sure to snag your profits, move that stop loss to break even, and let's keep this baby going, guys. "21 chromosomes to have Down syndrome. Potentially Satoshi had Down syndrome. It's possible. They say that Asperger's or autism is not a defect, but a form of genetic evolution. Wendy says, I only OTC my ZERP. You know, wouldn't want to devalue it. For sure, ma'am. I got you. B-Flow says, that means we'd have to close our XRP long. Maybe not a bad idea that we are in the green. You know, XRP USD can still move up and give us a gain, and XRP BTC can still move down. It just all depends on how XRP USD outperforms BTC USD, and is largely dependent on BTC's underlying base movement as well. So currently at this situation, I think it's a good converse hedge. Obviously long on spot XRP and short on the BTC asset. This gives us a good, nice hedge perspective. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect hedge. It's actually it adds an element of risk, but still allows us to protect ourselves. So again, you set up all trades correctly in the first place. It's a coin flip on which way the market moves most of the time, and then you just add to your winner and reduce your loser, and that's how we make profit. Unless we have a very clear objective directional signal. Goblin Moblin says, thank you for your concise and informative answer. Really appreciate it. You are excellent. You are excellent, man. Thank you for the question. I love how we can play, how we can do TA and play Tetris live at the same time. Trading and Tetris are close to the same. For my information, I can look at live hex chart at ByDesk. You have to type it straight into the browser. I do believe that from somebody told me this morning, like it just chunked down 98% in value. Isn't super surprising. I do know this. I have been watching this. This is etherscan.io, and this is the hex deposit address. And I will tell you this, man, like this wallet is raking in cash. I would estimate close to $10 million so far has been brought in by the Hex token sale so far. Currently 21,944 sitting in there right now. Let's see if we can get... Here we have transactions, and here we have external transactions. From what I've been able to gather, all of the external transactions have gone to this address right here. Oh, so sorry. This is the external address. Yeah. So sorry. This is the external address. We can see all inflows. There are 4 transactions. We've received all inflows. They don't seem to have taken any new inflows to this wallet address. Potentially, I'll have to go check out the original hex address. So sorry, this is not the hex address. This is where all the outflows went from the hex address. You can see that. Here we go. You can see all the internal transactions right here. So far, this address is sitting on a $3.295 million, bringing in a total of around 22,000 total Ethereum. I have not checked the original. Let's see here. This is the, yep. So here is the actual hex address, I believe, right here. Yep, this is the contract for hex. Currently about 2,025 Ethereum sitting in there right now. So total Ether value of about $304,000. And internal transactions. Yeah, we can see that they all go to that 317C address that we were just looking at earlier. That's, again, has accumulated about a little over $3 million. So I would say the hex sale has been successful, especially for whoever owns this address, sitting on quite a stack. And again, we talked about hex at length. I haven't claimed my hex. I do not really have plans to claim my hex. We've got a year to do so, so something might fundamentally change. And to everybody involved in hex, I wish you the best of luck. I have made money. I have made big gains investing in ICOs. Not going to lie, I've done that. I am currently a accredited investor in the 2 Regulation A plus approved token sales in the United States. I'm also a accredited investor in several offshore security token offerings. So I definitely am not against investing in startups, investing in situations where there does seem to be a lot of upside. Risk is obviously quite high. Those need to represent small portions of your account. So again, best of luck to everybody who's actively involved with hex. It's not really my bag, but I don't have anything directly negative to say about this. Just I want people to be aware of what's going on and what's happening. Goblin says, I was on that Hex live stream with Richard Hart, Tone Vase, and the lawyer last night. It was a shit show. Long story short, every time Hex is minted by sending Ethereum, Richard Hart's wallet gets a duplicate of that Hex amount in addition to getting the ETH they sent. Ugh. Dear Lord. Tales of the crypto. Hex, yet another scam you'll be talking about one day, potentially. They brought in a coder who used to be contracted on the Hex team, and he clarified this. There are also several other criteria causing Hex to be duplicate minted into Richard Hart's wallet. Aaron says, I'm against Hex, but I will probably regret that in a year. Let's just say this. If you make money on Hex, Richard Hart also makes that money, plus the Ethereum game. That's the thing, man. But Richard Hart was very, very upfront. He's like, bro, I'm doing this shit to get rich, and y'all want to get rich with me? Let's go, man. Hex coin for the win. You know, he's not dishonest about what he's doing. That's the, it's a huge, like, that's why for me, I'm like, cool, this falls into the basket of like gray territory, right? Could be good, could be bad. It's a risky investment, just like all other ICOs. So again, good luck, right? Good luck with that, right? Just like, have you guys ever worked with venture capitalists or investors in startup? You know, you're talking about individuals who take like $100 million and sprinkle $10 million into like 10 startups. And they're like, all right, fingers crossed. One of them's got to win because one of them's going to return $1 billion and the other 2 are going to lose me 90 million. It's fucking good luck, man. You know, when you're picking winners and losers in startup seed rounds. I've been involved in that world for a long time. But that's the strategy to it, man. You sprinkle your capital among a bunch of different startups, and all you're looking for is those outsized, 1,000% X returns to make up for the losses of the others. And you cut your losers at some point, and but Richard Hart never came out and he was like, I am reinventing the wheel and I am creating something awesome. And this is going to solve scaling and this is going to solve all the problems. I mean, the title of the video was Pumpamentals, man. He's like, let's pump this shit to the moon. So for that. GBU Wally says, I thought AI meant artificial intelligence, but apparently it means accredited investor. Shaking the lemon tree. Oh, look, a lemon felt. Yeah, is it too late for Hex to get in? No, you can listen. You can still send Ethereum to the adoption amplifier address and receive Hex in return. You can go do that at, I believe it's go.hex.win. A lot of information on the interwebs about that, my friend. You can watch a couple YouTube videos, you'll be up to date. You have a year to claim to free claim your BTC. I do believe that it penalizes you for like every day that goes by. So if you wait till the end of the year, I think you'll get the maximum penalty. The earlier you do it, the more you get. But obviously, that's marketing built into the system to incentivize as many people to get in right at the gate. Come on. But yes, you can free claim your BTC. I think at any point you have up to a year to free claim your BTC. I'm not exactly sure how long the adoption amplifier remains open. Mr. Ether would probably know that. Yep, and we did cover, if you guys go back to Monday's video, we did talk about Hex quite a bit. So the timestamps are in the description of the YouTube video back on Monday's video. So the video 2 days ago, you just click the one from 2 days ago. You can jump right to the Hex part where we talk about the risks that are associated with free claiming your Hex with the BTC. You're not going to lose your funds, but you are going to be sacrificing your privacy. And for those of you who are holding Bitcoin for the sake of privacy, especially for those who've been holding Bitcoin for quite a while, or use it for privacy related things, or for anybody who's there's just so many things that could go wrong. And it depends on what legislation does in the future, right? So let's say that you unknowingly have what we call black BTC, or what's going to be blacklisted BTC. So BTC that is associated with crime, BTC that was associated with scams or theft. That could end up, again, it depends on how governments regulate this. That could end up coming back to bite you in the butt, right? Combining your UTXO splits. Let's say you did some Silk Road stuff over here with this Bitcoin wallet back in the day, and you sent some Bitcoin from that wallet to a Bitcoin wallet that eventually got to a Bitcoin wallet that you use today. And that event in 5 or 10 years, when chain analysis becomes so good that they can track your personal identity to that potentially, because you can reveal your personal identity and ownership of a wallet at any point in time, and that might be required by legislation in the future, potentially. That's all stuff that could be retroactively come back to bite you, man. Now, do I think that's likely? Probably not, but it's just a danger, man. We don't know what's going to happen in the world. We don't know how punitive or what direction the United States government or any other government around the world is really going to take on blockchain history. But again, there are a lot of sins that were committed in the early days of blockchain, and nothing goes unpunished, man. But if you bought your Bitcoin through Coinbase, if you don't even understand what I mean when I say combining UTXO splits, then yeah, go get some free Hex, man. Not an official recommendation, just that's probably the attitude that you should have. It's like, it's free. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get rich. Maybe I'll make a couple dollars, make a couple of them hot, sweet tendies. Ooh, baby. With that being said, guys, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update Show, live every single day on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, and Roku on the Investor News Channel app from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders, hobbyists, and investors in this wonderful space that we call cryptocurrency. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. It's been a fantastic show. Comment down below. Tell me what you learned today. Tell me what you like. Tell me what analysis you like. Tell me what you think about what direction the market's moving. Tell me what setups you guys are taking. Do my best to get back to you within the next 48 hours. Or if you just have questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or death threats, pop them down there, baby. The comment section will bless us for the YouTube algo, and I love engaging with you guys. So just wait a few minutes after the show concludes, and you guys can leave as many comments as you like. Make sure to hop in the Discord at discord.krakencryptocurrency.com to engage with our community when the show's not live. If you guys would like to join us and use our tools, learn our rules, be involved with the Pathways to Profit strategy building course, use our proprietary indicators, learn our Pine scripting tutorial, everything that we have to offer, as well as our trade setups and analysis from our senior and junior analysts, then make sure to check out premium.krakencryptocurrency.com if you would like to begin on the journey toward consistently profitable trading. Whatever your experience level, we are here to help you guys out. Otherwise, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. We will be back here tomorrow, same crypto time, same crypto network, links to everything you could possibly need in your entire life. They're down in the description down below. Make sure to go check out our crypto currently interviews and insights video with Kapil Amarasinga from Project Particle. He's the UK ambassador to Particle. That's live on our YouTube channel, as well as the ByBit tutorial and potentially the crypto tag video. In my opinion, the best solution to securing your backup seed phrase that is available on the interwebs. And we will be having the new Crypto Currently Interviews and Insights video with Silvio Macaulay, founder of Algorand. I had a chance to sit down with him for an hour and ask a ton of questions. That's going to be coming out probably within the next 2 days. So thank you guys for your patience on that. And then following that very, very quickly will be Samson Mao of Blockstream and Naomi Brockwell herself. Interview with the team. So thank you guys so much for your patience, for coming up today. Look forward to talking to you in the Discord. And as always, trade smart, trade safely. Have a good one, guys.